This is Chuck Rapp with Multiply, a podcast to provide a word of encouragement for village church planters and leaders. In this podcast, we continue our study about the character or characteristics of good and godly leaders. We find much to imitate in the life of Nehemiah. We've already identified in our previous episode that he was a man of prayer. Prayer preceded his actions, and that's an excellent model for us. In chapter 2, following 4 months of prayer, and that's the interval between the month of Kislev in chapter 1, verse 1, and the month of Nisan in chapter 2, verse 1, it was time for Nehemiah to approach King Artaxerxes. We see in this encounter that Nehemiah was a man of courage. We read the following in the second part of verse 2 and in verse 3. I was very much afraid, but I said to the king, "May the king live forever. Why should my face not look sad when the city where my ancestors are buried lies in ruins and its gates have been destroyed by fire?" I would suggest that courage is not simply the absence of fear. To intentionally or otherwise overlook dangerous or ambiguous situations is imprudent and potentially dangerous. Instead, there are times when godly leaders must acknowledge our fears, give them to the Lord, and entrust ourselves to God's care and protection. In spite of, or in the midst of fear, empowered by the Holy Spirit, we must move forward. Courageous leaders are also willing and able to make difficult decisions in the midst of uncertainty or ambiguity. Reluctance or failure to make a decision, when a decision is necessary, can sometimes be as detrimental as the wrong decision. I've often said that failure to make a decision is actually a decision by default. It's a decision to do nothing. This can result in frustration and discouragement for those who follow us. I would suggest that courageous, godly leaders should demonstrate these behaviors. Firstly, prayerfully and humbly seek the Lord for His course of action. Then, be willing to face our fears and move forward. And finally, while seeking to avoid mistakes, we can't be afraid of ever making a mistake. Sometimes there's an element of uncertainty, and it's necessary to step forward with faith and boldness. If we've missed the mark, the Lord will gently restore us to the right path. Lastly, Nehemiah moved forward with boldness. We continue the story in chapter 2, the last half of verse 4 and verse 5. Then I prayed to the God of heaven, and I answered the king, "If it pleases the king, and if your servant has found favor in his sight, let him send me to the city in Judah where my ancestors are buried, so that I can rebuild it." Notice that Nehemiah's first response was to pray. He then made a bold request of the king. This has been a word of encouragement for village church planters and leaders.